Welcome to the Unapologetic Male podcast. For today's episode, I wanted to talk about some life advice in general, and just some things that I think you can implement into your daily life that will help you have a little bit more peace and clarity moving forward with life. So, and I'll kind of give a story about myself because, maybe there's someone that feels the same way. But when I was younger, I wanted everything to happen that same day, right? And I think a lot of this is the result of how technology works now, right? With phones, you can instantly send text messages. You can instantly, watch YouTube videos or stream movies. So a lot of things and the technology that we have is so incredible that it makes things seem as if they're supposed to happen instantaneously. But I think, in general with the world and how, life goes, I think life is more like watering a tree and letting a tree grow than it is um, blasting off a rocket ship, I guess is a good analogy. Because, the average person is going to live about 70 years, and 70 years is a long time. And so I used to get discouraged when I was really young when I felt like I wouldn't see progress immediately. It's called instant gratification. And I think instant gratification is something that you need to completely destroy from your perspective and thought process with how things should happen in life, and instead replace it with this ideology. And that ideology, which I have since I've begun thinking this way about life, I feel like I just have so much more focus and so much more peace, and I just feel so much more balanced in life and content and just happy to exist, right? And that ideology is the 1% rule, is what I like to call it. And it maybe someone else calls it that too, but it's what I call it. And it's the 1% rule. And the 1% rule is that every day you should just try to get 1% better. And you think, oh man, well, that's not a whole lot. Like I want to, do this and that today. But you don't want to do too much at one time. You still want to work hard, but you don't want to burn yourself out, because, for example, if you're building a business or growing a YouTube channel, like a lot of those things take time. And yeah, we can point to the people who were like seemingly instant, overnight successes, but those are the one in a million scenarios. That's not reality for a lot of people. So I think you should practice the 1% rule. And that is every day, whatever it is you're doing, you try to get 1% better. Because think about it, after 100 days, that's 100%, right? 200 days is 200%. And anyway, although it's not, that's not the exact math on it. Eventually what you'll see is that over time, you'll fall into a productive and good habit. You'll form good habits doing this. Like if you decide that you're going to start working out, well, every day you're going to get 1% better with your health. Every day you're going to get 1% better with your intellect. Every day you're going to get 1% better with video editing or, making music, whatever it is. And you'll see that over the course of a year or 2 years, you'll start to see significant improvements. And it's just that doing little by little every day until, think about it, like if you started off at 1% and then you worked your way after a year, now you're 365%. Well, your 365% is now so much more powerful than what you were able to do when you were at that 1% skill level, right? So I think it's important to point to kind of like an old folk tale, which is kind of cliche, but it's that tortoise and the hare ideology, right? Where, don't be trying to speed rush through everything, just try to do little by little every day, So if you're trying to, let's say you're trying to learn how to become an engineer, well, try to become a better engineer, 1% better every day. And then over time, you'll start to notice, you'll be like, oh, wow, 2 or 3 years have passed. I spent every day trying to improve at a 1% rate as an engineer. And now I'm doing good in life. I understand it more. And I think that's just a good way to go about practicing and just living life in general, and how you should perceive the world as not trying to get rich tomorrow or trying to, be awesome or do whatever it is you're trying to get, become better at like overnight. You should just work little by little, because slowly but surely, if you just work on playing the guitar and getting 1% better at the guitar every day, you're going to be, after 6 months, you're going to be like, wow, like I really am better at playing the guitar. I really am better at understanding electrical components or something like that, you know. Um, so yeah, that was just my little words of wisdom for today. Try to start. I would say, if you are in that kind of that mindset where you're like, man, I want to get everything today. You feel like you're in a rush or you feel like you're in a hurry. With life, don't. No, I think that if you try to rush through things too much, you're gonna find out that you're gonna burn yourself out more quickly. You're gonna get discouraged. But if you're in your mid 20s, and or maybe your early 30s, even, hopefully, I guess it can apply to you at any stage of your life. But hopefully, you're starting to practice good behaviors and habits before you turn like 40, because it's kind of late after that. Yeah. Oh, it's a bit late. You can still you could still manage to do things, but like for example, like when you're 25, you start working on saving money. And you grow your savings by 1%, 1%, 1% a day, every day. You add 1% to your savings, like you're gonna have so much more savings than trying to get, $1,000 a day or whatever it is, or $2,000 a day. Um, so yeah, just hopefully that you can kind of understand and comprehend what I'm trying to explain there, with having more patience and having kind of more of a long-term outlook for what it is that you're trying to accomplish in life, right? Not trying to rush into anything and thinking that, you need to be the CEO of a company tomorrow, but kind of enjoying the process more of learning and acquiring a new skill by just having a goal of whatever it is you're doing to improve at it at a rate of 1%, whether it's martial arts, or, maybe you're studying to be a doctor, or you're going to be a surgeon, whatever it is, just think about, man, how do I improve at? And then if you feel like 1% is enough, maybe try 2% and get 2% better at it every day. But yeah, that's just my little word of advice for the day. Thanks to whoever is listening. If anyone has any input or feedback, or something to discuss, leave it in the comments and we can talk about it. Thanks and have a good day.